Welcome to a new episode of my mini-series Crochet to Cash. In a previous video I mentioned how I created my own little pattern of this really cute elephant that I initially crocheted for my cousin's birthday. I'm trying to sell the pattern online, not really messing with Etsy at the moment, so please wait on that. But I thought it'd be really helpful to kind of have some video tutorials to accompany the pattern for those that maybe struggle to read patterns or are still in the beginning of their crochet journey. So if you want to see how I created the front legs of the elephant, keep on watching. Hello and welcome to today's tutorial. Here's everything you'll need for our project. First, our chenille yarn. I use the Jubilee yarn brand from Amazon in the colour Sea Spray. Next, our crochet hook, of course. I use a 3.5mm hook, but of course the bigger the hook, the bigger the elephant at the end. Next are scissors or thread cutters or whatever you have in hand to clip off the excess yarn. We'll also be using our darning needles to add details to the elephant at the end and overall assembly. Also some safety eyes. I ended up using my biggest size, which is 12mm. We will also use our polyfill, of course, to fill in each and every piece of the elephant, and some white yarn. I use white acrylic yarn to add detailing on the toes and to create the tusk of our elephant. So that is everything we'll need. Let's get into the tutorial. To start off our project, we'll be making a magic ring to work into using this fairly simple technique. So I just create an X on the front of my fingers with 2 parallel lines on the back. With my hook, I go under the first line, hook the second line and twist, then grab the yarn on my ring finger and pull it through the loop on the hook, and there we go. I do find it a bit tricky working with a magic ring when using chenille yarn, so you can definitely use the second technique if you also find it a bit difficult. Our second technique, just start off with a slip knot as per usual when starting any crochet project, and we'll just be using 2 chains and working into that very first chain and using that as our faux magic ring. So a slip knot, chain in twice, using the first chain as our magic ring, and that's all. Now that we have set up our magic ring, we're going to begin working into it with our very first round, creating 3 single crochet stitches into our magic ring. Don't forget to grab your stitch marker to mark off your very first stitch, as working around can be quite tricky and it's very easy to lose your place. For our second round, we'll be creating 3 increases, so 2 single crochets in each of the stitches from the previous round. Always remember to mark off your very first stitch, as working in rounds can be a little confusing. At this point, I begin to feel the work turning in on itself, so I just poke my finger through to prevent me from crocheting inside out. For round 3, we start with an increase in the very first stitch, followed by 2 single crochets. We then repeat this whole thing twice, which gives us 8 crochet stitches at the end of this round. For round 4, we just create 8 single crochet stitches, so that's a single crochet in each of the stitches of the previous round. In round 5, we start off with an increase, followed by 3 single crochets. We then repeat this twice, which gives us 10 stitches in total at the end of this round. In round 6, we just complete 10 single crochet stitches. Here we're just grabbing some of our polyfill to fill the base of our leg. I like to fill as I go rather than wait until the very end because it can become quite tricky to fill all the tight spaces. Here in round 7, we're switching it up with a decrease in between 2 sets of 4 single crochets. This decrease will help to form the bend or the sort of knee joint in our leg to make it look a little realistic. I'm going to stop talking now up until round 15 as the following steps of the pattern are pretty straightforward. So from this point, we'll begin working in rows instead of rounds to help build the side, thigh area of the elephant's leg. So for row 15, we will be chaining 1, turning our work, decreasing, doing 5 single crochet stitches, and then ending on a decrease. So now we've just finished creating our first front leg for our elephant. This will be our right leg. Continue following the pattern up until row 15, where I will rejoin you guys and show you the difference on how to create the thigh area for the left leg. For row 15 for our left leg, we initially ignore that chain 1 turn, so we continue working round and just jump straight into the decrease, 5 single crochet stitches, and then a decrease once again. So ignore the first chain 1 turn and then follow the pattern as usual. So we have just finished creating both front legs for our elephant. I hope the tutorial was easy to follow. Thank you guys so much for watching. and tune in next week to see the tutorial for the back legs. Thanks again. Bye bye.